I'm Chris McDonough, a retired homicide detective. I've interviewed thousands of people, from serial killers to ministers. Welcome to the interview room.
Possible GTA suspect near now, 4730 Crystal Springs Drive, in the parking lot above the merry-go-round. 2 males, no further description, adding striping to a black Cadillac four-door.
Welcome to the interview room, everybody.
Utah,
Time to take a seat.
California, Paul William Norris, 011.
Thank you for being with us tonight on this special broadcast. They're playing our music. 211 in progress. Absolutely love it. That's California Penal Code section for robbery. We may even talk about that tonight. Always coming to you from an undisclosed location. At TIR, we follow the evidence wherever it takes us on a case. As always, all parties are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. All opinions are welcome here. We only ask that you keep them safe, classy, and honest. Thank you always to our mods, members, and subscribers. Without you, none of this is possible. And with you, we can move mountains of justice for families and victims. Tonight's show, follow up on Dee Warner with our special guest, investigative attorney, my friend, Billy Little Jr., a great American, a great legal mind, and you do not want to get in this way. So put your seatbelts on, everybody. Time for a good night here on the interview room. Welcome. Take a seat. Billy, good evening.
Chris, my friend, how are you?
Good, buddy. Good to see you.
Yeah,
good
coming to you from a fully disclosed location. Enter at your own risk.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I love it. Yeah, remind me, that's one other thing that we could bring everybody into a little idea on where that green thing, the marshmallow car, how that unfolded. But that's on another show too in of itself. But that said, you look good. You then thanks for being on the show the other night. Man, was that a panel or what with Ann Burgess and everybody?
I was out. They were in a different league than me, man. I was out of my class right there. Those are some smart people dealing with this serious issue.
Yeah, definitely. They were smart, and we were so grateful that you were such an intricate part of what we're doing and we're thinking that night. You added a dynamic that is always needed. So we've got a lot going on that I kind of let people know, and folks kind of show us where you're at in the chat here. Just kind of weigh in here for a second. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We always like to make sure that we acknowledge our audience here first and foremost than anything else. You folks are the ones who, support us and allow us to, that support allows us to do what we're doing out here. Wisconsin, Indiana, York, Pennsylvania, with Jean, Beth, Tammy, Bree is here from Iowa, Palmyra, Michigan, Brenda, Alan, Mississippi. Good to hear. You guys be careful. You got some storms going around Belize, maybe going into the Gulf. Yo, Maine girls, great seeing you. Sarah in the UK, Fuzzy Doxy, I love that name. Birmingham, Alabama. Cajun, as always, Louisiana. Joan up in Portland, and we saw Kingsport, Colorado, Jackson, Hill 65 from Ireland. Top of the morning to you. Michigan here, Holland, Lori, Yooper girl. Yep, I married a Michigan girl, so I know what that means. Let's see here. Joyce, good to see you. Linda, Wendy up in Massachusetts, the Sierra Nevada, Indiana's in the house. Vicky, the UK, all of our friends, Greenville, South Carolina. Thank you so much. Perth, Australia is in the house. Jakey in the UK. Thank you, Jakey. And of course, our friends just north of us in Canada with Margaret. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, our mods. Do you see any others going by? I mean, there's a ton going by, Billy.
You see RDLS, a special supporter of ours up in Michigan. Just shout out to her and her family.
Okay. Yeah, give her a yell. There you go. It's good to have everybody here. And of course, all of our mods. Without you gals, none of this is able to make, you girls are so instrumental behind the scenes with our team leads, Miss Sophia, Maui Girl, Mimi J2, and Teresa M. Please always respect these women and keep things classy in the chat. They keep me out of trouble, and I certainly know they have been very, very kind to anybody that comes in. New Zealand's in the house too. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. All right, Mr. Little. Well, we have, I talked to people last week and said, when you're ready, we're going to start laying some more groundwork. Do you want to kind of give a high-level overview of where you want to go tonight with Dee's case?
Yeah, this is what the work we do is really to gather, organize, put it in a logical sequence that makes sense. But really, the people, we don't do anything except listen to what other people say and gather the evidence. The real work is always done by the citizens, by the people out there. There's nothing magical about what we do. We just do the best we can to find the truth. So I appreciate everybody's input. And without everybody's input, we wouldn't have a show tonight. And tonight is a big deal. Big deal.
Yep. Big deal. So I'm going to put, let me put up on the screen here. As always, folks, if you're new to the interview room, just subscribe. That's all we ask for. And at the end of this, you will have an opportunity to do a Q&A. So just hold your questions until the end. And that way, we can, Billy can focus on what he wants to present here. So I'm going to put a PowerPoint up. And then, as always, I'm just going to kind of stay in the background while you do your thing, brother.
All right, man. Let me know when you're ready to roll. All right, let's do this. Next slide. This is what we're going to cover tonight. I want to do a quick case review. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because most of the people on here are up to date on this and have seen the old broadcast. But I'd like to spend about 5 minutes and just go over some of the highlights of the case review. If you're not up to speed on it, just go back and look at some of the old broadcasts. But I don't want to spend too much time on that because we've got some important stuff to cover. We're going to do the newly discovered criminal activity and the call to action. Again, like I was saying before, it's really the people of the community, the people around the world and in this country that carry the weight and have the power here. It's not me. It's not you. It's not the police. It's community standards. It's truth. It's justice. All of those things. So that's what we're going to get to, and it is going to be interesting. Next slide. Okay, we've gone over this a lot of times. There's a lot more information than this, but the reason that we're here is because Dee Warner was married to Dale Warner, and she decided that she'd had enough and she wanted a divorce. She went home on a Saturday night. A dear friend of the family came and picked up the young girl who was 9 years old at the time. She's now 10. Picked her up so that Dee and Dale could have a discussion about getting a divorce and selling all the businesses. And that was the last anybody saw of her. They're out in the middle of a farming community in Michigan. So she supposedly disappears without taking a car, without being seen on the home surveillance cameras. Nobody's ever seen her. There's been no credit card activity, no cell phone activity. She's never crossed a border. She didn't take a car. She didn't even take clothes. I mean, according to Dale, what she left with was a curling iron and some other things. Hasn't been seen from. So we came into the case. You and I, Chris, we started digging, man, and it was a lot of work. But here's the timeline for that night. It was Saturday night into Sunday morning. A month before, we have a witness saying that Dale said he was going to kill Dee. Then that night, when Dale comes home, and then the daughter is picked up, and then at 8:34, you see Dale clears property. That's when he tells his son to get off the property. He's in a building outside. And so now it's just Dale and Dee on that farm property by themselves. Friend texts Dee, "How are you?" No response. Half hour later, that response of K comes back, which has never been seen in her text messages ever. She just wasn't that way. She liked to talk and express herself. She never responds to K. And then the phone goes dead, never to be heard from again. So her wallet is gone, her credit cards, driver's license, cell phone, and Dee are all gone. And Dale says that the next morning he gets up at 6 a.m. and goes off to work in the farm on that Sunday morning. And according to him, she's asleep on the couch snoring, because when they had this argument, he gave her a massage and then put her on the couch. We now know that his cover story doesn't hold water, because we have him at his father's house at around 4:00 a.m. that morning in a big hurry. So he wasn't asleep at 6 a.m. And she wasn't asleep on the couch either. He had already done what he did to her. He tracked her for a long time, put a tracking device on her car, followed her around in town, put a listening device in her office. And all of a sudden, when she goes missing, he stops looking for her. Is no longer interested in tracking her. So
Go figure.
Yeah, he is seen holding her $50,000 wedding ring the next day that she was wearing. There's just a ton of information. So I hope that I've hit the highlights. Chris, did I miss anything big? I'm sure I did, but
No, you've nailed it. I mean, her phone goes, quiet. He goes lawyer shopping on Monday. Changes the password to all the security cameras. Doesn't take any. She doesn't remove any money. But what did she take? Right, Billy? What her
took a curling
iron?
iron. I mean, that's when you're going to leave for the rest of your life, all of your children. And she had 5 children. One of them was that minor child, 4 adult children, and a family and a support system up there in her farming community. She just, according to the husband, just decides to leave, take that expensive curling iron with her, and never to be heard from again.
Yep. And the next morning he's got her, as you said, pointed out, is her $50,000 wedding ring, but he forgot the one at the jeweler that she was having custom made.
Yeah. She was having a special ring made that she was going to go pick up on that Tuesday. She had all kinds of plans. She had business plans. She had personal plans. She had hair and nail and eye appointments. She had a bunch of stuff scheduled for that following week. Obviously, none of that took place. And then so it started out, we started out thinking, well, gosh, I wonder if it's just a domestic violence gone bad. And then as we dug into it, you and I both, Chris, and I appreciate everything that you've done. But as we dug into it, we found that, boy, the domestic violence might be a part of the soup, because we know that there was a history of violence in that relationship, but it becomes more and more a financial crime. And Dee had a trucking business that she owned 100%, like it says there at the beginning. And that was bringing in a lot of money. So after she disappears, Dale creates a new, similarly named trucking business, transfers all the assets, wipes out $1 million worth of debt that he owed to that trucking company, started a new trucking company, and then sold it.
Yep.
So
and then his buddy, Todd, remember?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, talking to a good witness on tape, getting a massage.
Well, Todd, unbeknownst to Todd was being recorded by a lot of people. And he makes a statement that he's in this up to his ears. I believe that's a statement. Oh, I'm in it. But it's one of the old broadcasts. But, oh, yeah. So it's I don't know if it's complicated. There's a lot of moving parts, right? So I can see why it takes law enforcement a little while to put it together. But we're not giving them forever.
Yep. And you're gonna answer based on your latest investigation, the latest work that you've plugged into this whole scenario. I mean, it's tonight, everybody, you're gonna reveal it, right?
Yep.
You're gonna show them. We're gonna put it down.
We are gonna put it together, and it's these financial crimes. Murder kind of has a story and it's interesting to people, but these financial crimes, once they're linked to this as a motive, and that is part of the motive here, once it's linked to it, it becomes hard to make simple. And so I've tried to make it simple tonight so people their eyes don't glaze over and go, what? I don't know what, because I mean, even our eyes glaze over sometimes at the volume of evidence that we have to deal with. But we're gonna put it together. Nothing to it, man. Not our first rodeo, Chris.
You got it, brother. I mean, so, and to your point, after her disappearance, he sells all his assets to DDW Investments and moves them into DDW Transportation. And then he sells it to Laidlaw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Go figure.
Shocking.
Go figure. My wife is in Mexico or Jamaica, right? Yeah. Isn't that where she's supposed to be?
Yeah, she went to Mexico or Jamaica or somewhere.
Well, I might as well sell her companies. Yeah, might as well sell her company. She's in Mexico and Jamaica.
Oh, what do you wait till you see what she does on her behalf tonight? Oh boy.
Yeah. There we go. What do we got, Billy? You got newly discovered criminal activity.
Yeah, let's see what we got. So it starts way back when, in 2006, when Dee and Dale were getting together. They weren't married. So you see that March 7th, 2006, an operating agreement these are kind of the rules for these LLCs up in Michigan. So they have an operating agreement that they both signed because they own that business 50-50. So they're equal partners, equal shareholders, not like in the trucking business, she owned 100%. So on March 7th, they signed. Oh, no, you're fine. Keep going, man. So on March 7th, they signed this operating agreement. And you can see what happens on our next slide. And we have a copy of that. And you see the original operating agreement, and that is kind of small, so I'll just tell you what the circles are. So 3706 at the top circle, that's the date that they were signed. You see page 1 of 15, very important. Don't forget that number. Page 1 of 15 on the real operating agreement. And then you see at the bottom, this was sent by a fax on March, I believe that's the 6th or 7th. No, March 7th. Yep, and there's a fax phone in the middle. I did not circle, but that is a fax number for the lawyer's office where this thing was faxed. So this thing is just about self-authenticating. And then you look over to the other side of the page, you see the signatures. The members, Dale Warner and Dee Bach. She's not Dee Warner yet. This is in March of 2006, and she signs it and dates it. Keep that in mind. Keep those dates in mind. And what is her name? Is it Dee Warner or Dee Bach? It is Dee Bach. So next slide. Okay, August. So March, April, May, June, July, August. 6 months later, Dee Bach marries Dale Warner and changes her name to Dee Warner. 6 months after that operating agreement signed. That's why she signed it Dee Bach, because that was her name. Next slide. You see there? DBOC, the original operating agreement. Next slide. And then you fast forward 15 years, and then we've already discussed how she supposedly disappears. Well, that's when Dale kills her on the 25th. Next slide. And now Dale is operating in this War Ag LLC that runs a lot of the farm businesses, and Dale created LLC after LLC. And we'll get into some of that shell game here in a minute. But he's got a problem because the operating agreement says that they're equal partners, and to get anything done with that business, they have to have a vote. And he can't get to 51% as long as she's gone. So next slide. So now, after she disappears, all of a sudden we have an operating agreement that, remember I said 15 pages? No, this new operating agreement is 17 pages. So now we've got 1 through 17. And you see the signatures there. Let me see what's on the next slide. Let's see what I should be talking to. Okay. Now, this little document here that made this, instead of 15 pages, it made it 17 pages. Now on March the 7th, 2006, you see that, and this is the fraudulent operating agreement, that it's not signed. It is member Dee Ann Warner.
Oops.
Uh-oh. You're 6 months early on that one, Dale, and Mark, as we're going to get into in a minute. You jumped the gun there. And all of a sudden, on March 7th, 2006, I keep getting the 6 and 7 confused. On March 7th, 2006, now she signs on that day, allegedly, D.A. Warner. No, but then we go back to page 17, that same document. Of course, it's a fraudulent document, as we now know, but her name appears as D. Bach.
Do you remember the old let's steal mail, wash checks, and sign them over to us? But usually there was a lot of methamphetamine involved in those kind of capers. But this is clearly consciousness thought process taking place here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to get into that. There's a reason why they needed this fraudulent agreement. In fact, there's 1.4 million reasons why they needed this fraudulent agreement.
Shall I move on?
Yes, sir. Here are the signatures.
Looky here.
So you see the fake ones. I've shown them to you in the big picture, but I just cut them out and post them so everybody can see that on the 7th day of March, 2006, on the fake agreement, she signs it D.A. Warner, which was never her name. And then why she would sign it D. Bach on the other page, I don't know. Maybe because on the real operating agreement, her name is signed D. Bach, and you see that down there at the bottom. Next slide. You boys made a mistake. Made a big mistake. You were 6 months early, but you had to do it this way. They had to do it this way because they needed that money. They needed to take that money from, when I'll show you in a minute. Okay, next slide. So Dale, as I've explained in the past, not the best businessman in the world. In fact, that trucking company that Dion was supporting, the farming industry. So Dale has a lot of debt. He's got some operating loans, as most farmers do, but he just didn't know how to make money on that farm other than burning some crops, burning some vehicles, watering down fertilizer, claiming that he collected less crops than he did on the field so he could get the insurance money for it. I mean, he had this thing. He's clearly running a criminal enterprise, right? There are just so many laws that he violated here. So what's going on in October and November and you know what, Chris, I made that mistake. That says 2006, October, November. That's my mistake. That should be 2021. Okay. But let's see what's going on. This was last year, not 2006. Okay. Dale
applied
Warner
for a loan.
applies for a loan for War Ag, for COVID relief. He applies for a $1.4 million COVID relief loan from the Small Business Association. That's your federal money right there. That's the money that we pay in taxes. And his old buddy, Mark Weisberg, who we know has been in prison for embezzlement, he helped him negotiate the loan. So, and the SBA, they keep notes and they record things. And guess who they were talking to? They were talking to Mark Weisberg. Mark kept trying to get the loan funded, and the SBA was not going to do that because they needed Dee's signature. Let's see what the next slide says. No, go back.
Remember a high level. Give them a high level on who Mark was or is.
Oh, Mark Weisberg was the guy who handled the books many years ago, but then he went to prison on another case, and I'll show you the prison sheet on him later. But he goes to prison for embezzling money. When Dee disappears, Dale brings him back in to help start cooking the books. And that's when the $1 million debt disappears. That's when he's trying to get money unscrupulously. And he calls the SBA, and the SBA takes notes on it, and they record his calls. And they're sending emails to Mark Weisberg, who was trying to get this $1.4 million. And next slide. And it's all public information. So you can see here, I just pulled this off a website that shows the amount of money that they were requesting. You see it down at the bottom, 1.429 million.
Yep.
And it shows the description, but anybody can get this on the internet. All you got to do is look for it. So we did. So next slide. Here we go. So Mark Weisberg, during his discussion with the SBA person on the loan, they're saying, no, we need Dee as a partner to sign this loan agreement. Never once does Mark say, well, she's in Mexico or Jamaica. She's not around. He never tells them that she's not around. What he does is say, well, okay, is that it? Oh, I found your email. It's in the spam. I didn't know that. So he's running the game with them too. What's on the next slide? So Mark, they said, well, not only do we need Dee's electronic signature, we need a copy of Dee's driver's license. She disappeared and her driver's license and her credit card and her cell phone those things were never found. Now, it's possible that Dale had a copy of her driver's license stored somewhere, but it's also possible that he actually had the driver's license that was on Dee when she was missing. She was unalived by Mr. Warner. So, and by the way, you know who tracks IP addresses? The Small Business Association. So they track this, and they actually put a flag on this loan as possible fraud. So even without knowing anything, the SBA did good work and said, wait a minute, something seems fishy about this. And it sure was. But what they didn't know is that Dee Warner was not alive. So Mark Weisberg submits to the SBA a copy of Dee Warner's license. She's been gone for a year. Well, not quite a year at the time, but 9 months. She'd been gone for 9 months, and he comes up with her driver's license and then goes on to electronically sign Dee's name on the loan document. It's Mark Weisberg.
And leave the country.
Who's that? Dee?
Dee.
Oh, yeah.
She left the country, and somehow she got back in time to sign the documents.
Yeah. Explain that one for us. I know Dale has his lawyer explain. I hope he can come on and explain this. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it from Dale.
Yeah.
But so Dale and Mark complete the signatures for both Dale and Dee, and submit her driver's license and get the loan. So the SBA disperses They do it in two disbursements. The first one is 500,000. The next one is 929,000. So the first disbursement comes in on November 9th, 2021. This was a COVID relief loan. So it goes to the company. It goes to the War Ag LLC company. Well, how are they going to deal with that, right? They didn't write Dale Warner a personal check. They wrote it to the company. Well, how are Mark and Dale going to get that money out of there? Well, let's find out.
This reminds me of the Suzanne Morphew case, Billy, the 1 point. Remember when Barry voted for his wife in the election?
Mhm.
And so, but she'd been missing since, the summer. But somehow she voted in November, the year she was missing. So somehow, Dale's going to have to explain and Mark's going to have to explain, how she signed these docs and then presented her driver's license when she's in a foreign country.
Well, especially when the SBA has tracked the IP address to the emails and to the person who's doing the communicating. And guess where that came from? It came from Mark Weisberg. They also record the conversation and take notes. And guess who was doing the negotiating? Mark Weisberg.
Yep.
Shameful.
Transaction.
Again,
history.
this is public information. These are the transactions. You see the one for 500 and the other one for 929,000. Anybody can look this up online. Next slide. Now the shell game. Are you ready? Okay. Mr. Embezzler, Mr. Murderer, let's start playing the shell game. Next slide. November 9th, that 500,000 comes in, but it goes into that business account. November 26th, Dale Warner, on behalf of the business, loans himself all of that money, takes it out of the business account, puts it in his own personal account. Now he can do whatever he wants to with it. Next slide.
Self-loan.
Oh, yeah. And so, every good con man's got to have a paper trail. So he created a paper trail. And he made a promissory note on November 26, 2021, transferring that $500,000 to himself, from himself to himself. Next slide. Yeah. And so you see Dale is down there. You see him. There must have been a heck of a negotiation when he sat down with himself and determined what the terms of the loan would be. He gave himself pretty decent personal interest rate there, 4%.
Yes,
He's a great negotiator. You don't ever want to get a negotiation with him. You should see how he treats himself.
Months.
And then in November of 2023, supposedly he's going to start paying himself back. And then I guess if he doesn't, then he's going to sue himself.
Right.
Boy, it's going to be an interesting courtroom. He'll have to move
promised
from
to
one
pay
table to the
myself
next.
back what myself promised to pay at 4%.
Right. Here, I'm going to take a piece of paper and pretend like this is a legitimate transaction. Well, wait a minute. So how do I take the money out of Warag LLC without Dee's signature? Now we know why he needed that fake operating agreement that gives him the permission. And coincidentally, that when she signs Dee Bach Warner, allegedly, which she didn't, it just happened to be on a page that allows him to borrow money and lend money and do whatever he wants without her permission. Yeah, it's a lot of coincidence going on here. Not a very smart guy.
Does it get better, Billy?
I just wish I would have been in the room as he's negotiating with himself. Now, Dale,
the gift that keeps on giving.
I'm going to charge you 10%. Well, I can't afford that. I'll give you 2. Okay. Well, then how about 4? Okay.
Yeah. You need a mirror.
Is he schizophrenic?
He's negotiating in a mirror.
Right. Oh, that was brutal. Let's put it down on tape. Now let's make sure we get both of our signatures.
Do we both agree on the terms? Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
All right. I'll sign it. No, you first. All right.
March 21st.
So we got these phony promissory notes that creates a paper trail, right? That they're trying to convince everybody is legit. So then move to March 21st, the other 929,000 gets dispersed to Warag LLC. Well, to nobody's surprise, guess what happens exactly a week later? Next slide. Whoa, this looks very familiar. We've got a $929,000 promissory note from Dale to Dale, promising to pay himself, and if he doesn't, boy, he's going to sue himself. So he's doing the same shell game. I'm just going to move this money out of the business that I don't have the authority to do. So I'm going to create a new fake operating agreement with Dee's name that she never had on a date where she supposedly signed her name 3 different ways. But here we go again, $929,000. Next slide. Same deal. Here, Dale, you sign first. No, you sign first, Dale. And same terms, same interest rate. Boy, I tell you, if there's anybody out there who wants to loan me $1.4 million at 4%, please call me when we're off the phone here. I will take it, and I'll start paying you a year later, and then I'll finish my payment when I'm 112, right? So don't worry about it. You'll get your money.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost as if you're getting a phone call or an email from Nigeria, that, your family, you've come into $1 million, give me your credit card number and, and I'll wire you the money to your bank. Oh, I need your bank info too. I mean, and the sad part about this whole, is this is his wife who all this time he hasn't lifted a finger to search for her, but behind the scenes, he's been doing all of this, loaning himself, money at a 4% interest rate, calling everybody out that, she left, he's not, she's not coming back, i.e., if she is, she's with somebody else, blah, blah, blah.
Well, remember, according to him, she got what she had coming, right?
Yeah,
karma.
She had coming. Yeah, exactly.
According to him, it was karma. So I don't know what that means. What, she got 1.4 million? So now Dale has extracted all the money that the Small Business Association gave him, the federal government lent him, extracted the money, put it in his personal account to do with as he pleases. And there are real problems with that, not just the fact that it's facially illegal, right? What he's done. But to create this phony paper trail, there you go.
Look, Mary, I know this may seem a little sudden, but I've given it a lot.
Hang on for a minute.
All right. That's exactly what they've got. They've got a bunch of worthless paper that they've created with forged signatures and forged documents. And they got a briefcase full of papers, but the money's gone, right? We're having a little bit of fun, but it's not funny. That is our money. That is taxpayer money that they've stolen and dispersed to other people. I mean, I know a little bit of what he's done with that money. I'm not going to get into that tonight.
I had to put this in there. Classic. So you're saying there's a chance. Thank you, Allie. You made our night. That's fantastic, but perfect timing. Well played. Well played, Allie.
It's like a couple of teenagers are running a scam here. I mean, it's not even close. Not even close. So here's our Mark. Buddy. Here's Mark. I see. I did him a favor. I blocked out his driver's license number and social security number, even though it's all online and everybody can get it. And there you see his inmate number up there, and that was when he went to prison for embezzlement. Now, Chris, you would know this more than me. When he goes back to prison, is he going to get a new number, or does he get to keep that number?
They'll probably give him a new number.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he'll have 2, and that way it shows up on his rap sheet.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I didn't know if they got frequent flyer miles for coming in and out. And
so, Michigan could be different. You could be 100% right. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
They may just attach, his number.
I just want him to make sure he gets credit for all the time he's served. Yeah. Well, enjoy it. He's doing what I like to call a life in prison on the installment plan. One piece at a time. He's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. Oh, this one's going to be a big chunk. So some of these crimes carry 20 years. And I'm not talking about murder. I'm talking about the financial crimes. And plus, he's now a 2-time loser. So there's going to be a little sentencing enhancement for you, Mr. Weisberg, at 61 years old, probably not going to see the light of day. But
Well, I think it would be wise for him to go to counsel and say, hey, I know some things about Dee Warner. I need to tell you.
yeah, look, when we first started this, remember, I told Dale, get in there and take your manslaughter deal, because at the time the evidence wasn't there for the murder. And I
Yes, you
tried to
did.
give him advice. I tried to say, look, man, go in there, do your 5 years, get out. But he didn't listen. He didn't listen. He thought he would just keep rolling, just keep playing the shell game. Thinks he's smarter than everybody else. He can't even run a business, and he's going to run a con game. No, forget about it. So here's what are the crimes involved here. So how is it like? Well, he stole federal money. What are the crimes? There's Michigan penal codes, and I listed them for you. Number one, theft by fraud, right? That clearly is not a legitimate loan because Dee's name was forged. See, number two is forgery. That's a crime also. And number three is sort of the state version of the RICO. So there's also federal RICO statutes that apply. I didn't list all the federal stuff here because at this point, we would really like to see the Michigan State Police do what they're supposed to do here. So running a criminal enterprise. I mean, if this isn't a criminal enterprise, I don't know what is. He's watering down fertilizers. He's doing crop insurance fraud, other insurance fraud. He's embezzling money from the trucking company. He's stealing the trucking company. Then he kills his wife so that he can just steal more money. And now then he comes to the SBA and steals our federal tax money, $1.4 million. By the way, I heard something that was concerning the other day. Is that the SBA, there's so much fraud going on, they don't even look at cases less than 2 million. Well, let's change that tonight. And here's a little warning to the friends and family members. And I've tried to warn people, but you can't benefit from the criminal activity, because if you accept property or money or whatever, if you're a person that loaned him money for operating loans for that farm, for trucks, if he's bought you anything, you know that money came from this stolen theft by fraud money. And all you have to have a reason to know or a reason to believe that the benefits that you're getting, that the money or property that you're getting is stolen. If you have a reason to know that, and by the way, now you do, right? If you didn't before, now you do. So better go get right with the Lord, because after tonight, you're on notice, right? Now you have stolen property. And don't think they don't prosecute for this. I've had many cases where somebody shows up in a car, they get pulled over. They're like, I didn't know it was stolen. Well, how'd you get it? Well, I got it from a guy at a party who said I could. Well, who is the guy? I don't know. Well, how are you going to pay him for it? Well, I don't know. I mean, if your story doesn't make sense, if you have a reason to know that the car was stolen or that the benefit that you're receiving, if you have a reason to know that it was obtained through criminal activity or theft, you're on the hook too. So Dale, not only are you going down, you're going to take your whole family with you, right? And that's just not fair to your family. So you need to do the right thing at some point if you have it in you, which, to be quite frank with you, I don't think he does. I don't think he has the courage. I don't think he has the moral character to do the right thing. So he's going to take his family down with him.
Yeah, and that will give a new meaning to counting the beans. You're no longer a bean farmer. Hey,
I don't think they're going to put you in charge of the books in prison either.
Yeah, exactly. He won't be the bean counter that day. So call to action, Billy. What do you think?
So this, we've laid out as simply as I could the obvious fraud that's gone on here, the obvious forgery, the obvious stealing of federal money from the SBA, and the transfer of that money to his personal account so he could do whatever he wants to with it. So what do you do? Because this is something that the community, again, needs to get involved in. So next slide. I encourage anybody that has seen this, that believes that they can, in good conscience, report this to the SBA Fraud hotline, who can report this to their elected officials, to do it. Like I said at the beginning of the show, you and I, Chris, we don't do anything except report the facts. It is up to the people to get this taken care of. And it's up to the government to be responsive to the citizens and the people. And so get involved. Be courageous. You can report it anonymously if you want to. But we need to put the pressure on the federal officials to take this seriously, because it's not just the 1.4 million, which is a big deal. To any of us that pay taxes, we should all be offended. But it's not just that. It's that this is connected to a whole scheme, a criminal enterprise, a murder of a woman who didn't need to be killed. She was killed for money. She was killed for greed. Call these people. Tell them, hey, we've got some new evidence. I want to report a fraud. And by the community and the citizens taking action, we can get some movement here.
And Karen will put it up on our community page. If you're not able to screenshot this page, we would hope you would screenshot this page right here, a call to action. You can, anybody around the world can email, call, and, tell the elected officials, how you feel. And the Michigan residents, of course, we would encourage you 100% to call your congressman, your senator, your governor, the AG, and let them know that, look, this is outrageous. And
Chris, do you have a way, if people wanted those documents, do you have a way that if they were to contact you or me, that we could get them the documents so that they can see for themselves?
That's a good idea. What we may be able to, let me talk to Karen, we may be able to create like a Dropbox and then put the docs into the Dropbox and then share the link, and then people can download it from the Dropbox.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just one thought, but I can also, we can talk offline, but PDF it and then put it into our community page and let folks, links on the blog post. Karen just sent me a note, says links on the blog post. So it'll be on our community page, but we'll figure out something on, getting these documents into everybody's hands.
Yeah. You don't need to take our word for it. You can see the evidence for yourself. And that's a pretty rare opportunity to actually see the evidence of the fraud for yourself.
Yeah.
And take a look at it. And by the way, you may see something that we didn't notice. So, I mean, there are a lot of smart people out there that know a lot more than us. So,
and here's another great idea here from Ellen, Billy. She goes, is there a petition? No, there's not a petition.
That's a good idea.
It's a great idea. If you would start one, Ellen, that would be Eileen, sorry. Yeah, that'd be great.
Eileen, start one and I'll sign it. I get everybody I know to sign that. This has got to stop. This is not a laughing matter. We laugh a lot during this. This is not a laughing matter. This is deadly serious.
Yeah.
We need to get these guys shut down, out of business. We need to have justice. It's a great community, great farming community, and time's up.
Yeah, you have done an amazing job on this whole thing on behalf of Dee Warner, and it's time that the authorities make the move. Just the financial problems alone is enough to, take care of things.
Once you and I figured out that this was financially motivated, we said on one of the earlier broadcasts a long time ago, we said he's going to do more time for the money crimes than he is for the murder.
Yep, he will. Yep.
Yeah, this is a life sentence for him. A de facto life sentence, right?
So folks have some questions here. This is a thank you here. So glad to catch up. Thank you. Appreciate your support there, Debbie. Very much.
Debbie.
Kick some butt. Exactly.
December 1. Yeah, that's the deadline for Michigan State Police.
And
by the way, can I give a little shout out to the Michigan State Police?
Go. Of course.
So it is they only have, what do they have, 28 days, 27 days till their deadline is up. So please don't waste your time chasing down Timbo. Timbo, if you're out there, they're looking for you. Call the state police. You're not going to get away from it. You need to go in there and talk to them. Timbo, pick up the phone call, call the state police, because if you don't, they're going to be knocking on your door, right? And that's a bit of a coded message, but he knows who I'm talking about. And the state police certainly know what I'm talking about. But I don't want them to spin their wheels for the next 27 days chasing this character down.
So here's a question from Classy Lass. How does that affect Laidlaw Trucking?
Conservators have done a good job of getting that money put into escrow until this thing can be sorted out.
Yeah, tuck it away and nobody gets it or get it back. You know,
by the way, before that transaction went through, I notified Laidlaw Trucking that it was a criminal activity, and they went forward with it anyway. And I don't know if you remember on one of the previous broadcasts, we talked about the web of support. One of the people in that was, look at Pat. Yeah. Hey, Pat, come on, man, join the team. Help us out. Me and Chris aren't accountants. We're not that smart. But there was an attorney named Duzma. His last name was Duzma. He was in the web of support. Guess who's now had a falling out with Dale? Guess who's no longer on the web of support? They're dropping like flies.
Yeah, go figure. So Miss Kitty has a question here. She'll call and write, but what should she say?
Say she's reporting a fraud. She's reporting a fraudulent loan, that a guy killed his wife and him and his crooked bookkeeper fraudulently electronically signed her name and sent a copy of her driver's license that they shouldn't have. Right? They shouldn't have the wedding ring, which he has. They shouldn't have her driver's license. So are you telling me that she left the country without her driver's license too? She didn't take her passport. She didn't take credit cards. She didn't take her cell phone. Well, actually, we don't know where the cell phone is. So where is all this stuff? Well, apparently it's in Dale and Mark's hands.
Well, you know, and this is how foolish this is, because what's the first thing TSA asks you for is a verified driver's license, authenticated with 2 authentications, the new driver's license, right?
Yeah.
With the star on them.
Yeah.
So if she went to Jamaica or a foreign country, that means she had to have a fraudulent driver's license to get through the very first step onto an aircraft. And that's the question, you know, ticket and driver's license, please, or passport. Yeah. And 99% of them in the US, they ask for your driver's license. Anybody that flies know that. That's a no-brainer. So the fact that somehow her driver's license appears now to get $1 million.
In life, we have to make choices, right? We have to make choices. And so when the SBA told Mark, and they talked to him, and we know that it's recorded, that when the SBA talked to Mark and they told him, hey, we need her signature, he had to make a choice in that moment. He needed to say one of 2 things. One is, she's missing. We don't know where she is. Is there a way that we can work this out? That was never said. Never. He could have been honest and said, she's not here anymore. And she's maybe never coming back. How do we deal with this? Because we need the money, whatever, for the business. He could have made that choice. But what did he do? Instead of saying, Dee's not here, he lied. He lied. He fraudulently signed her name, and he sent a copy of her driver's license as if Mark Weisberg is Dee Warner. I mean, it's infuriating to me. I know I get upset about it, but
you know, look at Class. Appreciate that comment there for sure. And look at this one. And this Brenda had a good thought here. Do we know when her driver's license was renewed?
No,
that's
we should call Mark and ask him.
Yeah, that's a really good question, right? Right, exactly. We call Mark and see if it's you know, if he's got an old one that they modified the expiration date on it. Anything's possible nowadays with Photoshop.
are you saying that there's a possibility that they've modified documents and fraudulently
Yeah,
presented them?
just a
Oh,
suggestion. It's just a thought process. We could be way off on the
you're,
driver's license, but the other stuff it's pretty
you're,
clear. Let me grab some of these other here. This one here I love a Chris. It's more of a comment, Kelly. She got beamed to Jamaica.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's all
Tom
magic.
Time bomb deployed. Great job, Mr. Billy Little. And did everybody catch him on the Discovery ID? Didn't he do an amazing job out there on TV? He won't let me
This-
talk about it because
uh, the,
he just
I
won't.
don't, I don't ever want these cases to be about me. I want and you see that very, very few of them do we talk about in
See,
public, right?
Michelle said he could have renewed it online without her. Interesting.
Well, there's another crime.
Another crime. Yeah.
Well, they're going to go to prison forever. What's the difference? Which, by the way, makes him a dangerous person because they know they're going to prison forever, and it also makes them a flight risk. And especially if they have a little bit of cash in their pocket, and they may.
Yeah. And let me see what else we got going here.
Okay, Kathy's, you're too sweet.
Dee doesn't have the moral. I guess he took.
He took his moral compass. He didn't have a moral compass. He's what we call a sociopath. I've dealt with his type before. So even after the conviction, he's going to still proclaim his innocence. I know his type. There's no chance. I've dealt with these people before.
So my sweetheart is weighing in there. You can make your voice heard, everybody. Let's see here.
Yes.
And look here, that people even say you looked on fire on Discovery. Good job.
Nice. Thanks,
Nice.
Lisa. And I like the dog. I didn't know the dog could type.
Look at this. And Marlena said trading a woman for a criminal cell. Nice job, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have fun with that, because I'm pretty sure they don't go down without a good fight in prison. I mean, you're not going to be fighting women this time.
Yep. Anybody got any questions? Go ahead, put them into the chat here, and I'll pull them up. And thank you so much, everybody, for your support here, small town. Grateful for that. Let's see what we've got coming in here. Let's see here. A petition with description links. Great idea. Family can share it with our community since they work with the public. Thank you for all you do. Well, thank you, Charlene.
Hey,
thank you.
Yeah. Is Eileen going to put that petition together? And then can you guys post that so that we can all sign it? Yeah.
And just send me an email. Go to my, info at the interview room on Proton Mail. So you'll see it in the about section on our front page on YouTube. So you can send me an email and we will get it in the right hands of anybody that needs to see it and can sign it. Okay. That's perfect.
Many things in this life are unfair and unjust and never get dealt with. This is not going to be one of them. I will not leave until the day I die, until this case is resolved. I'm not going anywhere. So, and I'm just going to keep digging. And the more I dig, the more crimes I find. The sooner you get arrested, the better off for you, Dale and Mark.
So here's a question from our friends.
Mahala.
What do you think? I'll let you take a shot at that.
How are these guys still walking around? We've scratched out a lot of hairs on our head wondering the same thing. But I'm a man of my word, and I promised to give Michigan State Police until 1 December, which is 27 days away. So clock is ticking, make an arrest, because trust me, I have more information. But I want to let them do their job. But they've now had it for a while. I'm not going to wait forever. This family deserves justice. This country, this community deserves justice. It's a great community, man. Great people up there.
People are amazing. Absolutely salt of the earth.
And
they love this woman.
And to allow this dangerous person to continue to walk around. Thanks, Jakey. Yeah.
And thank you, Allie. You're very kind. And you're right. I think Billy is an amazing human being, but we think you guys are amazing. And, you know, we just think it's what you're doing out there by keeping the pressure on the right people.
Yeah. So Michelle, that's a great comment. If you remember, under her signature, there was no date, right? She dated everything else on that day that she signed, and under Dale's signature, it is dated as well. So I think they got caught in their own little, and I honestly haven't figured out all of why they did what they did and how they did it, but they apparently got caught with, well, wait a minute, we're going to sign this on, she's going to sign Dee Warner on March. She wasn't married, right? So they're caught in their own game. So if you guys have ideas on what that part of the scam was, let us know. I will figure it out, or we will figure it out. I don't want to act like I'm the big genius here. I'm just gathering information that comes from the community and sharing it with all you people. But yeah.
The child, we don't really want to talk about Dee's daughter, so we'll just kind of let that sit here. You've handed them right here. This is more of a comment, and I agree. He has. He's here. Here you go. Take a run.
Well, like I said, clock is ticking, and I'm going to allow them, but I'm not going to be critical yet. But trust me, I will be. And I have a lot of information that I could put out there. But our job is not to criticize the police. We back the police department. We back law enforcement. We want to help them do their job, right? But they have to do their job. We're not going to stand by idly and say nothing if they don't do their job. We all deserve better than that. So do your job.
So there's a shot here for you, Billy, on this one.
Did they need to be notarized? None of those signatures were notarized. I don't know if on a prior broadcast, if you saw the forged power of attorney that Dale tried to use, that again, they got caught in 2 seconds. So an expert found that was a forged signature. That was the only thing that was ever notarized. These things were never notarized. They weren't witnessed by anybody, and they weren't notarized. So they were put together. The real operating agreement was put together by an attorney, and that's the fax number there at the bottom of that page. So,
Lucille, electronic signature on over $1 million note. My husband just asked.
Yep. Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
Yep. And this one is more of a comment. I hope Ellie is doing all they can. We think they are, but they need to, move.
They need to get it going. Don't waste all month looking for Timbo. Don't be distracted by these things.
So here you go. I sure hope Dale is watching, seeing how he was laughed at. Is that you, Dale?
Oh, yeah. And trust me, we do not think any of this is funny. This is deadly serious to us. And you saw the broadcast where we had people coming out to our house. I don't care. Because I'm deadly serious about getting this done. But I'm also going to laugh. I'm going to enjoy my day.
No, that is me. Awesome, Joan. We appreciate you. That was a great comment. And if he's getting laughed at, you should see the bulletin board at the intersection, that he has to pass every single day, or all the signs that are outside of Dee's property from her brother. And all the town, when you walk into a town of, where he lives, and everybody, even the folks at the local Stop and Rob, are talking about Dale not doing anything. And that's the great thing about the statute of limitations. A case like this, it never goes away. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And it just gets stronger over time, not as you're noticing that the behavior just keeps building. It just keeps building. And then eventually, you're going to need a mime to get out of it. Go ahead.
there is nothing preventing him from continuing to violate more crime, to continue with more criminal activity. We need to get this guy off the street. He is a danger. He's a sociopath. He needs to be taken off the street.
Yeah. Navy vet, first of all, thank you for your service. God bless you. Billy's a veteran, as you know. Thank you for your donation and your support there. That's kind.
And she is 100% right. These also are federal offenses. They're federal offenses. We know that the money was transferred from the trucking company for tax purposes. The conservators having to deal with the tax consequences of Dee's company now. And that I have them on recording saying that this was done for tax purposes. I also have witnesses. I mean, you're absolutely right, Navy vet. It's a federal crime. Come on, people. Come on.
Yeah. Here's a question. How was he not taken into custody from the beginning? Well, we can tell you a couple of things. I mean, the lead investigator was dating, folks that were close to the circumstances, and we got that changed.
Yeah. And by the way, that lead investigator from the sheriff's department is still pretty upset with me. So I know he's still out there bad mouthing me, but I don't care. You say whatever you want about me. I don't care.
Yeah. It's not about us.
No,
we're used to it.
The skin is very thick. It's old, but it's very thick.
Oh, it's not
Say
that
whatever
old.
you want.
It's not that old. It's not, it's not that old. Right?
Remember that just a few weeks ago, somebody posted for a minute a Justice for Dale Facebook page. I think it was up for, heck yeah, Allison, all law enforcement.
Yeah. And somebody go share this on Justice for Dale's Facebook page.
They took it down, but they were on there saying what a fraud I am. I don't care. I don't care what you say. It's for you.
Yeah, I know. Hang on to me.
Hey, old man, turn off your phone.
I did just now. That was a detective on another caper, but we'll talk offline.
Yeah, and by the way, I must say that over 90% of the law enforcement agencies are very cooperative, and we support them, and we're cooperative with them too. So this has been a bit of an anomaly. I know we had a similar issue, not quite this bad, out in California, but I mean, it's unusual. But I'm gonna keep that powder dry until December.
You can craft that.
Who?
This question,
hey,
and I'm going to put this next one up.
These crimes can be charged at they're state offenses, right? They're also federal offenses. So the state can bring charges. The local prosecutor can bring charges. The U.S. Attorney General's office can bring charges. The Small Business Administration's Inspector General can investigate and prefer charges to the federal prosecutors. So there are a lot of people that could do it, but somebody needs to do it. And they're not going to do it if this community that you have here, Chris, these people, if they don't get involved, nothing's going to happen.
Here's another comment from Junior. It's Dale calling.
Is he calling to turn himself in?
I hope so. And I'll say, what, let me get an attorney on the line for you. I'll be right back. That he can help you out. And, and that's another part of this. You came right to the surface and said, I can help. Whatever it is. In the very beginning, you have, I can't tell you how many times have said that it's available. All you need to do is ask or at least get hold of somebody. I mean, for all we knew in the very beginning of this thing, and you and I mean, how many hours did we talk about this? Is it an accident? Is there specific intent here? What happened? Did he snap that night? And all of the broadcasts that we've done, in the very beginning, kind of lay some of that stuff out. And it was like, look, if it happened, it happened. But now, here we are so far down the line with this and all the amazing things that you've done. The national media is paying attention, Dale, and Michigan State Police, and it's not going away. It's not going away. They just did a doggone TV show on it. And it just goes downhill faster and faster from this point, especially now after tonight. Go ahead.
We tried to warn them. Like, they didn't believe us.
You did.
They didn't believe us. We're not going anywhere. We're going to get to the truth wherever it takes us, and every place that it takes us. And I'm just going to keep digging, right? You're looking at your problem right here.
Theories?
Yes, I do. That's the answer. I'm not trying to be a smart aleck, but
No.
yes, I do. But I don't want to discuss that because I know Dale and his team are listening. Yes.
Absolutely.
What do you need for an arrest? You need probable cause to believe that a crime has been committed, and probable cause to believe that person committed the crime. That requires 51%. We need this one is a no-brainer, right? And I understand the reluctance up front by saying, well, there's no body, we can't prosecute a homicide with nobody, because they'd never done it before, right? That small town, and that's okay. They were like, well, we got to find a body, we got to find the body. No, you need to find the evidence, right? There are a lot of no-body homicides that are prosecuted because you don't get away with a murder just because you're good at hiding bodies, right? That's
and I think this is
big plant.
Thank you. That's very kind. Let's see. Oh, look here. It's back up. And somebody just shared the.
Oh no!
Boy,
somebody's a glutton for punishment.
It ought to be fun. Oh my gosh! Yeah, he's probably going by the name of Chip now. Somebody just said.
Yeah, well, I think isn't it interesting that they called me a fraud while committing fraud?
And obviously nobody's done their homework. I mean, this is a blood sport out here. I mean, just people can just say whatever they want to say, and I mean, it's crazy. And
Thank you
what?
Thanks.
Yeah,
Leanne.
and all they have to do is do their homework. It takes about 5 minutes. And they'll realize.
I'm a big believer in the freedom of speech. So say whatever you want. Now.
Yeah.
I
mean, if folks only knew, we would. You were an administrative judge. You've been a judge. You've been on all sides of the law forever for so many years, and you sit on a council right now for Native American.
To select the judges. We select the judges and the appellate justices. Yeah. And by the way, there are no sides. Truth is its own thing, right? Truth doesn't have a side. And that's what you and I do. If the truth had come out that Dale was not responsible, we would have shared that. And that may have been hard for the family, but we would have shared that. We're just here sharing the truth, right? And maybe our truth is different, or somebody sees it differently. Good. Please challenge us. Challenge me. Show me how that transaction with the Small Business Administration was legitimate. Show it to me.
Yep.
Tell me why Mark didn't mention that Dee was missing. Tell me why he produced her driver's license when she's gone. Tell me why he electronically signed for that. Tell me why this phony promissory note, phony operating agreement. Explain that to me, because all I'm doing is telling you what I'm observing. It's the truth. There's not a side. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
No, this is Cheryl Lynn's agreeing with you. Truth is always right. You're right. And you forget, people forgot you were also a judge. And it's one of these things where it's like, I love when people say things about, me. I hate it, but I love it, but I hate it, but I love it. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those things, but I could care less because I sleep like a baby at night, and God knows my heart and he knows my resume. So I don't worry about YouTube or anything else. However, that said, you know, Dale underestimated you by a
Us.
million
He
percent.
underestimated us.
Yeah, well, and he did. He underestimated both of us. And that panel, Sunday night was a good example of the circles we run in. And, the people, if you haven't had a chance, go watch that, folks. On Sunday night, we assembled a panel. Billy was involved in that. And, we talked about what's coming in the future for this metaverse stuff. And we had Dr. Ann Burgess on there, who's a legend.
Oh yeah.
She's
Brilliant
a legend.
woman. She's
If you've
brilliant.
never ever heard of Dr. Ann Burgess, just Google her name. Okay. She doesn't play a doctor on YouTube. She's the real deal. Okay.
Yeah.
And all of us that we associate with have been there, done that. And this is a case that I think Dale underestimated who Billy Little and myself and others, even Greg, her brother. I mean, he underestimated the tenacity of that family. And unfortunately, that led to, what's going on today and the latest evidence. And so now you subtly keep sending hints that, December 1st is kind of a time to get things done. And you know what? We're going to hold that close to our chest. We're going to celebrate Thanksgiving coming up. And then hopefully they'll be celebrating.
And by the way, when they do put those bracelets on him and Mark and whoever else is involved, when they do finally do that, nobody is going to be their bigger supporters than me and you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we have been from the very beginning. And that will continue.
Hey, wait a
flow
minute.
in that direction.
Leanne. She's naming their new kitten Butters.
Is that cool or what?
No, after my puppy, not Dale's. He's sleeping right at my feet. I'm gonna give him his 5 minutes of fame or 5 seconds of fame. Hold on a
Light
second.
him up. Bring him up. We need a pup report.
Come here, Butters. Come here, boy. Oh boy. He rolled over so I pet him on his stomach. Hold on. Come here, buddy. Oh, there you go. Come here, boy. Come here. Come here, boy. Oh, he's tired.
Okay, everybody.
Can we
get
go to
ready for
bed?
some serious cuteness.
Can we go to bed? Look at him. He's so tired. Look, Butters. Look, Butters. Uh-oh. Look, Butters.
You're
you
fine,
see yourself?
man. Yeah, get him in there.
Butters?
He should have been on TV. He's better looking than you. He should have been on the TV Discovery ID.
Oh, yeah, he is better. Might even be smarter than me.
Buddy's asleep right here at my feet. Sound asleep. Don't we love our pups, man? They're so cool. And he's really gone, I mean, just full on attached to you, 1,000%. Every time I talk to you, he's in the car with you.
We're going to rename him Velcro. He won't leave my side. And
tell him about the wild turkeys.
Oh, today. Oh, he likes chasing the deer off our property because they come around here and they eat all of my wife's flowers and all the plants. So he likes chasing those off the property. But today we had 5 wild turkeys, big ones, man. It's Thanksgiving. He chased 5 wild turkeys off. And you would think he was just angry as could be, but he'll bark and chase and get all tense in his body. And then he comes back to me like, "Hey, Daddy, did I do good? Did I do good?" Good job, Butters. Here's a treat.
That's awesome. That is I love pups. They're very calming to the soul. And and they're just an immense amount of unconditional love. They really are. They really are. Okay, so I have a question.
Right,
we're about ready to go to Hawaii. I've got a couple more up here. Okay, you answered that one. Thank you so much, Amy, for that. Appreciate your support. this one, and this is for both of us, knowing the criminal mind. Well, what do you think he's thinking? I want you to start on that, Billy, because you've been
Okay.
around the game for a long time.
Well, I mean, I've been on the side where I had to get to know these guys, and I had to represent a lot of these sociopaths. So I know his type. I've seen it before, and that's why if you think he's going to try to protect his family, if you think he's going to do the right thing to protect anybody but himself, ain't going to happen. You think he's going to try and protect his mom, dad, children? You think he gives a damn about Dee Warner? No, he doesn't. He will be convicted on this case. Again, I've seen it before. He will be convicted on this case. He will maintain his innocence until the day he dies. And he just doesn't give 2 cents for anybody else but himself. He's a sociopath.
Yeah, and Sherilyn said, I guess he's thinking he's smarter than everybody else. Yeah, sometimes they do. And this is an interesting thought. Dale thought everyone would forget about this, just like the Warners always do. They brush it under the rug and move on. Sorry, Dale, but not Dee's Army. We are here until you're in prison.
Yeah, that's right. That family just goes on and acts as if nothing happened here. Nothing to see here. It's just business as usual.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Right.
Yeah.
You heard
If he does that, I may come out of my shoes on him.
And we resolved, by the way, just so everybody knows, the green car. Billy resolved that problem, so
don't worry about that.
Yeah, that
Come
one's been resolved.
Look at that.
I mean,
you're right.
That was a classic day too, by the way.
You're right. They do want to get rid of me. They do want to get rid of me. They just don't know how to do it. I invited them out here. They sent a couple of guys. Come on.
And so I've had some questions, even Billy, about your. I know you shared it the other night, but I love this story. Tell our audience, first of all, if you're just new to our channel here at the interview room, Billy was a colonel. He's a retired colonel from the military, and he was also a Marine Corps infantry officer. So he's been there, done that, and he's been overseas, been in war. He's a decorated war hero. But the best story that I love about this guy, as my dear friend, is the hat. And
the Russian hat?
Yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to correct you. I am not a war hero. I am not. So don't stop saying that. There are a lot of heroes out there. This is not one of them.
Okay.
So the hat. So we were in Kosovo, and the Russians were there, and whatever. So we go to a Russian checkpoint, and I thought about sharing the picture, but that's just going to be all over the internet if I do.
Yeah, don't do that.
So I go up to the Russian checkpoint. I'm like, hey man, let me have your hat. Let me have your AK-47. So sure enough, man, I'll tell you what, you can buy anything from Russians. So I'm standing there, and you've seen the picture, Chris. I look like a dork, but I got that big fur hat from Russia on and holding the AK-47.
So Heather wants to know if it had flappy ears.
Yeah, but they were folded up, on that big fur thing. It was sitting on the top of my head. It's probably like Michael Dukakis riding around in that tank. I looked ridiculous, but yeah, it had the big fur thing on it. The ears were all tucked on the top. I guess there's a snap on it.
It's an absolute classic, and thank you, Jody, for your support. We're so grateful for that. It is a classic, funny photo, and unfortunately, as like Billy said, and actually Karen, our wives were like, no, don't show that on the internet because people will do crazy things with it, and they're right. The girls are right. So but go ahead.
I'm always the guy who's like, all right, I'll show whatever. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
too old to be embarrassed anymore. Who cares?
Yeah, and Melissa, if you have a question, please feel free, ask a question.
Okay, yeah, because we're going to wrap it up. And honestly, when the only questions are why has he not been arrested, that means we did our job tonight, Chris. We explained it. They get it. Your army is ready to roll, and so let's do it, man. Let's get out there. Let's take some action.
Yep. And so, okay, final word here. And Melissa, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for your kindness for saying that. And anybody can ask any question here on the interview room. We appreciate your support. It allows us to do what we do, but that's not why we're here. We are here. If you subscribe to our channel, that's all we ask at the interview room. Just subscribe and then hit that thumbs, that like up, like button, share it, and share it with everybody. If you like what you're hearing, you like what you're seeing, there's a lot more coming in, the upcoming months, as well as into 2023. We're just getting bigger and better, and we'd like to hit 150,000, maybe 200,000, and then keep growing. Because with your help and your support, we can continue to do this for many other families that need it. So, Billy, I'm going to pull out. You have the last word, as always, brother. And thank you, everybody, for being here this evening. When Billy's done, we're going to go to Hawaii. Okay, here we go.
Dale and company, get used to this face. I'm not going anywhere.
Hard working every day, I'm stressed out 24/7, babe. No timeouts, wish we could fly away. You and I go to our favorite place. Oh yeah, make special memories together. I'll be your company now and forever. I say we fly away, you and me, go to our favorite place. Feeling the sun on my face in Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. I need a summer breeze, some fresh air to put my mind at ease. No cares. You wanna come with me? Me and you go to our favorite tree. Are you ready now? We jump on a plane now. We're taking away. Yeah, we're taking away. Don't hesitate now. We're taking away. Yeah, we're taking away. We'll never come down. We're going away. Yeah, we're going away. You and me. Feeling the sun on my face in a while.